much for coming. I think you were just in the plenary to come to 200 about the ads, and I would like to use this time for a short session about how to drive a little more advanced session, tech strategies and about the little tactics on advertising. So my name is Elena. I'm from actually Korea. I'm not Singaporean, I'm Korean, by the way. I'm an Amazon Ads Program Manager taking Singapore sellers to boost your growth to the next level. Today, I'd like to go through some of the key tactics, how to optimize. So the wording optimize is kind of tricky though. The optimize means that you have to set the baseline and you have to climb through the next step. So as you saw in Ads 100 with Warren at the plenary, so we have diverse portfolio that you can use and start. The core thing we actually recommend for you to start selling in Singapore is about sponsored products, definitely. So what we will actually focus on is, if you started sponsored products, what are the steps you have to do based on your setting the baseline of the sponsored products. So basically, there are 3 frequent questions that a lot of sellers ask us. So there were 3 among. But the most important thing now we will see is that, how can I target this Singapore marketplace very effectively? And what are the shopping preferences that Singapore customers will like? Because actually, we are living in Singapore, but Singapore customers are very diverse. Customers interact with different multiple channels, and we might tap into some, but we might not tap into some. So what are the things that we can look into their preferences? And for that, if you don't have the clue to start a sponsored products campaigns, there are 2 steps that you can leverage. The first thing, so we acknowledge that you might not know how to start with. You don't know the data, you don't know the shopping preferences of Singapore marketplace. Then what should we do? There are 2 steps in sponsored products. So if you just open the tab, there will be 2 targeting methodology. You might have heard, you might not have heard, it's okay. But then please remember 2 things. Okay, when I start sponsored products, for the shopping preferences and getting the data, the first thing that you have to do is to start automatic targeting. This is the key that actually Amazon automatically exposes you to different placements to potential customers who are likely to buy you, who are likely to purchase your products based on the listing quality and previous big data. So now what you have to do is to start from automatic targeting, expand your impressions. So in advertising, there are several metrics that we see for our advertisers in Amazon. Impressions, clicks. So impressions is how many customers are actually looking at you, and clicks is how many of them are actually clicking after seeing you. So to get the impressions, to get the clicks, the number 1 thing you have to do is starting the automatic targeting. Now in automatic targeting, you move to the next one, which is the sponsored products manual targeting. You might have heard about it. So manual targeting has to be based on 2 things, reports and ads dashboard, ads console in your advertising manager. So this has to be based on the automatic targeting that we find the very high performing ones and move our keywords or product attributes to target exactly your selling well. Now, for this automatic targeting, we have 7 steps and some recommendation from Amazon Ads that you have to follow through for the successful automatic targeting launches. So first of all, if you go into the Ads Campaign Manager, the first one that you have to do is to click the sponsored products. You see these 2 other ones as well, sponsored brands and sponsored display. These 2 things are available for brand owners, and this will help you expand more after sponsored products. So sponsored products is the key that also you can move up with our diverse portfolio afterwards. So in sponsored products, and then you go into setting the campaign name, start date, daily budget, and you select automatic targeting. One thing that we should actually tell you is the most important thing is putting in no end date. The reason why, we have internal research data that the campaigns with no end date actually perform better in terms of ROAS than the campaigns are actually doing only 1 month. So please ensure that you're putting the no end date when you're starting the campaign and start moving on in automatic targeting. Now, Amazon is a cost per click solution, which means that we're actually charging you based on the clicks you generated. It's not by impressions. So it means that even though we are showing you impressions like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, actually that doesn't really give us the charge. How many clicks we generated is the key that you're paying. So about the clicks, you're gonna beat the competition in Amazon. So for example, this keyword is $1. That product attribute is $1.2, then you beat by the amount to get the placement, how to be visible in the Singapore marketplaces. So for this beating strategy is extremely important. Bidding strategy, we have 3 different bidding strategies on automatic targeting. We have big fixed bids and dynamic bids. For our quick recommendation, we actually want to provide a recommendation that if you're launching a new product, go with fixed bids. And you're targeting hero ASINs, or already know the high-performing ones, you can go for dynamic bids up and down. All right, then let's go to group level. So in one campaign, there are several ad groups that you can generate. And in one ad group, for example, let's go to step 4, that you can put all ASINs in same group to test which is actually selling. Let's go with one of the example. So you have one product, but there are 10 colors. Then you have to select one to start the ads. You might be wondering what should I start about. Or you have just launched different products, very minor differences, but it's all very same portfolio. Then what should we start with? So put all ASINs and ads on the same ad group, and we can generate you to pull out which is actually selling. Then you pull out those hero ASINs to a separate campaign, which is the manual targeting. Now the 5 is about the recommending suggested products. So just a quick question. Have you actually clicked the suggested when you're doing Amazon ads campaigns? Have you actually checked out the suggested button? No, not yet. Okay, so when you're creating the campaign, you can select the product by the earliest the launch day to the latest ones, but then you can also check suggested. Suggested is we actually verified that these products are highly potential to the probability of getting the placements. So if you're not sure about where to start with, you can check the suggested and move on. Now, the step 6 is about putting the bid. So Amazon ads are based on the clicks. You have to bid with us. There are competitors out there that you will be bid through, and you want to get the placements. Now, for bidding ones, we actually recommend you, based on previous data, how much you have to spend per keyword or per product attributes. Here, we recommend, if you're willing to push the new products to get the placements, or you want to start ads right away to generate impressions, we recommend 10 to 20% upper bid than our recommended bid range. Then you will be highly likely to be getting the placements in Singapore marketplaces. All right, step 7 is about putting keywords and products which doesn't convert at all. We call it as negative targeting. So in Amazon, when you listen negative targeting, it's all about, basically I'm taking off the keywords and products which doesn't help me. For when you're just launching it, it might be okay to just skip it. But if you're over manual targeting, you have to use negative targeting. This is a key to actually lower down your advertising cost of sales, which is the A cost moving on. Alrighty, so in a quick summary, so automated targeting, there are 5 steps you have to really remember to make a successful automated targeting launch. First of all, in automatic, there are 4 matching types. Already in default, it's taken as 4 different matching types. You don't have to actually revise it. Just go with the 4 matching types and start it. Now, setting up the daily budget with the right range, recommending about from $20 as a minimum. And by the performance, you will build up by how many clicks you're generating. For example, this $20, how is it spent? If the keyword is by $1 per keyword, you're generating 20 clicks, right? But then, if you generate 25 clicks, it means that it's out of budget. So the campaign will stop running. That's how we actually make the budget, right? So based on the cost per click, you will actually get it, for example, by $1, $2, or 0.5. Singapore is about, let's say, about 0.3. Then how many clicks you can generate? It depends on this daily budget. Now, put no end date of the campaign, so it generates you the much more efficiency in terms of the sales. Now, start the campaigns with just suggested ASIN, so that it will have more placements available for you. And then, if you're not actually sure which product to start the advertising together, put every ASIN in one group and start it, and you will actually get buyer data, which one is selling actually well. Now, investment, so the budgets. This is actually the one that a lot of sellers ask us, how should we start with? What is the next step that I should move on, right? So first of all, if you're doing automatic targeting at the very front time, the key is to start automatic. That's a very great step. If you start it automatic, then you're half done. Now, for automatic targeting point of view, the key is you have to see whether you're visible to customers, whether we are actually pushing you to be attracted by customers. So the key thing is you're pushing the listing to a more visible placements. So in automated targeting point of view, we actually recommend to put bidding about 10 to 20% to push the placements for you more visible so that you will get some impressions and clicks generated to move on to the next step. So the first type is to start automatic, put the matching types there, be 10 to 20% more, and now you'll move on. You will move on to manual targeting point. So here you will actually mix. You can do in parallel the automatic targeting and manual targeting together. Now, what you have to do is, if you're moving to manual targeting, you have to hire the bid for the manual targeting on high-performing keywords. So in automatic targeting, let's say you operate about 2 weeks in automatic targeting, then you can download the search term report. So in sponsored products, we have 9 different reports available for you. You can download and analyze. Most of all, the important thing you have to download is search term report, which means Amazon automatically exposed you to the Singapore marketplaces, and we grabbed everything keywords and product attributes, which actually helped you to be visible. Now, that's why we have to download search and report. You actually move with the high-performing keywords to manual targeting. In there, you hire the bid, which generates clicks, which generates sales, and which generates high impressions. You hire the bid on that, and you can lower the bid for generic and category keywords. But still, the reason why we're keeping this is to get the data and get the which category keywords are helping you to convert. Now you've moved to manual targeting, so we have automatic targeting left. For automatic, you can lower a little bit, lower the bid in here, and budgets before. So basically, in parallel, you're operating manual and also automatic together. Okay, and you're doing parallel in budget's point of view to operate the 2 different campaigns at the same time. And so in automatic and manual. So a lot of sellers also ask us the questions or ask us the recommendations. So I'm doing both of the campaigns. How should I do the budgeting? Of course, the formula is all different by sellers and categories. For example, if you're in beauty or if you're in the hard lines, you're selling about the really fast-moving ones, the budgeting can be really different. But if some targeting and campaigns working well, you can actually invest more on it. Okay, you don't have to really all the way in a formula to move manual 100%. If automatic can help you a little bit more, you can put more budget in automatic for the period of time and move on to manual. Okay. All right, so I think I gave you a little bit of the data that we have 9 different sponsored products reports for you that you can analyze after you setting up the automatic targeting. But these 9 reports, I think a lot of sellers have not downloaded any of them right away all the time. And you might be a little bit busy on where to look at, what to focus on. So we divided these 9 reports into 3 different groups, which is more on keywords optimization, or it is ASIN optimization, it's more in campaign optimization. So if you can see here, the most important thing that you want to generate the conversion or making purchases, you have to know which are helping you to convert, which are helping to purchase. The most important thing is to start with the keywords now. So keywords is important as well. If you actually was in the session of Warren about the Ads 100, keywords is the key to generate as well for impressions. So the keywords optimization, we have 3 reports available: search term report, search term impression report, and also targeting report. Most of all, we recommend you, after doing automated targeting for 2 weeks at least, start downloading search term report and start building up what keywords and product attributes that you are generating sales and focus on those. Okay? Now, another 3 for ASIN optimization is called ad selection. That's going to be for advertised product report and purchase product report and placement report. So in placement, I got some of the Q&As from last session as well. So placement is this. We have 3 different placements that Amazon actually push you, whether you're in top of search, whether you're on product pages, or you're on the rest of the search. Now, if you want to be put more on top of search, you can bid more on that specific placement. We help you on that. And if you want to be on more product pages, we help you to bid more and put on product pages. This data is also available to see where you're performing well in this placement report. So even though you are just about to start, or even you're advanced, now what you have to do is you have to play a little bit more advanced. You have to bid by the placements. You have to push to where you're really working well. Okay? So where I can download reports, if you go into Seller Central, there will be advertising section. In advertising section, you go to the campaign manager. And in campaign manager, you will see that in Amazon Ads, there are the graph icon there. If you click it, there will be reports and Amazon attribution. With the reports and creating, there will be 9 different types coming on. You can download it right away. Alrighty. Now, this is a little bit the one that I want to talk about, the keywords. So the keywords can be a little bit complex and tough for a lot of sellers. So we actually divide it into different sections and think about, okay, this is the one that I have to nurture. This is where I have to focus big on it. So you can analyze keywords on 2 different metrics. Number 1 is CTR, click-through rate. Number 2 is conversion. So what is CTR and what is CVR? So if you look at the report, the click-through rate is this. You made this impressions. Impressions meaning you were actually seen by the customers. Now you generated clicks. Now that's called CTR. So among the number of impressions that you actually were seen, how many clicked you? So that's the key of making people to come to our detail pages. Now, conversion is this. Among the clicks you generated, how many of them bought it? This is conversion. So we actually made 4 different dimensions of metrics based on CTR and CVR. And you will see that upper right, the green one. High CTR and high CVR is called the hero keywords or high-performing keywords. This is the one that you have to grab and you have to continue building on regardless of the competition. This is the most sales-generating ones. And now the second is that high CTR but low CVR. Let's think about it. So you generate a lot of impressions and a lot of them clicks it. But then if they come into the detail pages, actually nobody buys it, right? That's a situation. Now, the key thing that you have to think about is why is my conversion so low? Why are not people actually buying my product in our detail pages? So this is tactic that you can do a lot. There can be 2 different ways why people are not buying you in detail pages. Number 1, you're not ready. It all comes from the listing. Do you have A+ content ready for you? Do you have 5 or 6 different quality images on your images? You have 5 to 6 bullet points ready for you? Or doing the buy box? Do you have the headlines of 150 words? For example, like that. So is it listing all done to make sure that people want to buy you? Or some sellers ask me, my listing is perfect. A+ contents are ready, quality images are there, headlines are there, and everything's done. But I'm not actually making conversion there. What could be the problem? Now, then we see that you might not have the problem, but your listing is actually covered by other products. So people actually drop off. That could be from your competitors. So, for example, ma'am, what are you actually selling at? The category, yes? Maternity products. Can I just say maternity products, for example? It's kind of too broad, is it? Maternity TENS machine. Okay, all right. Oh, this is great product, I think. Okay, so maternity TENS machine, yes. So, for example, that you have a detailed page of maternity TENS machine, okay? And I clicked it, and I found that there's so many other products in the pages that I can just render around. Then I just drop by, click it, and come back, and click it, and come back. That means that I actually paid it for it, but now you're making a conversion. So if the conversion is low, you might be okay and perfect, but somebody else is taking your placement, right? What you have to do is you have to be on their page as well. Or you protect yourself by putting yourself on your pages. This is what you have to play with the second tier keyword on the number 2. Now, moving on to 3, long tail keyword. Have you ever heard about the long tail keywords yet? No, long tail keywords? So this is where CTR might be low, but conversion is great. So CTR is low. What does that mean? So impressions might be a little bit low and clicks are low, but if they come into our detail pages, they just buy it. This is where you have to invest as a second after hero keywords. This is what you have to invest to end of the year and next year that you're cultivating for a period of time that these keywords might be yours as a hero keywords. Right? In our yesterday Ask 200 session, we actually introduced you 2 strategies on making long tail keywords. So you can actually find it later on from our replays. So long tail keywords is the key. Now, 4, low CTR, low CVR. CTR is low, conversion is low, you have to negate it. So these keywords, okay, you might want to just play around a little bit, but if it's not conversion anymore and it can not be generating purchases, it's time that we have to think about the performance and actually take it off from you. All right, so find the high-performing keywords by search term report. So search term report is extremely important. This is the key of how to analyze by our first-party data of Amazon. So this is sample data, but then, for example, you actually put and download report of search term report, then there will be CTR and CVR. Sometimes the CVR comes with a 7-day conversion, right? And some sellers ask me, hey, what is 7-day conversion? Is it from now, like 7 days beforehand? It doesn't mean that, because our actually, the timeline to make sure that it's an attribute to the sales is 7 days. So that's why 7-day conversion. So you don't have to worry about that it's like only 7 days, but it's more on conversion attribution timeline. So CTR and CVR, look at it, make it to largest, smallest, and make sure that you have these two pillars with a high hero keywords, with a high CTR and high conversion. Focus on increasing the budget. Our recommendation you saw in beforehand is 10 to 20%. Now, for second tier keyword, which is potential, you have to improve your listing quality. Okay, your listing should be protecting yourself, or you have to get the exact all the information to consider for customers to purchase right away. Now for long tail keyword, which is low CTR but high conversion, you can actually play by tactics of bid by placement. So you actually bid more for the placement which is working well for you, and you can also check whether targeting on other competitor products can work for you. Okay. All right, I think this is the one that we could go for the bids. So let me give an example of how we actually do the bidding changes. So let's assume that your current bid is $1. So we just bidded $1 for one keyword. Like let's try other keywords. Which keyword are your hero keyword? Storage box. Well, perfect. So let's assume the storage box. So I'm bidding for storage box category here for $1. Now, how to change the bids is based on comparing the actual cost per click and the bid that you're doing. So how we go, let's assume that we did $1 for storage box. Then the first line that we're actually stepping up is about the impressions. So is this keyword getting a lot of impressions or not? So if the answer is no, then impressions are quite low still. So I just bidded it, but then low impressions, there was a problem. Then we actually go to the next step. So you compare the cost per click, actual cost per click, and your bid. So you just bidded $1, right? And then we have to compare the actual cost that that click generated. Then let's assume that you check the actual CPC, and the CPC is $1.2. What does that mean? You bid it $1, but then I'm paying $1.2. It means that there are a lot of competition ongoing. There are several people who wants to actually get that placement, get the keyword for them. So what you have to do is you have to win this keyword to get along with that and getting the hero. So we actually recommend to increase the bid a little bit. Now, another one. I bid $1, but actual cost per click is 0.5. So it's lower than the CPC, or lower than the bid that I did. Now, what you have to do is either you actually change the bidding type to fixed bids, or you have to optimize the listing. So which means that your listing might not be actually ready to be pushed. That's why there can be no low impressions, okay? So based on comparison of CPC and the actual bid, you can play by different tactics. Okay, I have to change the bidding type, or I have to increase the bid. Now, $1 for my bid, but high impressions. This is good. High impressions means that ads are actually starting to work for you. So we are pushing you, and customers are seeing you, and when they're browsing through, we are looking at your products and brands. Now, check the CTR and conversion. If both of those are actually high, you can increase the budget and bid by 10 to 20% first. Now, if that's low, you have to do how to increase CTR and CVR, going back to that 4 metrics is how to play with it. So the important thing is this. Okay, how I change the bids is based on comparison of the current competition of actual cost per click and my bid, and how to raise or how to go down. Thank you so much, guys. If you have any questions, please visit our Amazon Ads booth, and I hope for the best day. Thank you.